Kids in Horry County go back to school in just 8 days, and some of them are going to notice a big difference when they get there. Armed security officers will replace Horry County Police Department school resource officers. And we wanted to know how the two compare, so we dug into the training differences between them. At a bare minimum, an armed security officer in the Palmetto State undergoes 10 hours of SLED-required training. Certified security training officers go to one of 3 technical colleges in the state to learn the curriculum. Then they bring it back to their respective companies to teach the trainees. According to state law, security officers do have law enforcement authority, but it's limited. They cannot conduct criminal investigations and can only act as a first responder when it comes to helping someone who may be hurt, collecting evidence, and detaining suspects. Horry County School Board Chairman Joe DeFeo said back in June he looked forward to working with a private security company.
There is a slight advantage to having private security because they work directly for us. They never leave the school unless we allow them to.
Post orders give the board that control. They outline things like what a security officer can do, how they should do it, the people they should interact with, and emergency information. David Beatty, the district's coordinator of school safety and security, says security officers like the ones that'll be in Socastee and Carolina Forest High schools will have arresting power too. But that's also limited to the school property the security officers are hired to protect. Lastly, they are able to carry a weapon, but have to undergo SLED-approved firearms qualifications.
Board members, we just want to thank you for letting us come here.
During a school board meeting on June 19th, we heard from representatives with U.S. Security Associates, the company hired to take on school safety in Horry County.
These are some of the requirements in our 40 hours of training.
They detailed 40 more hours of training they do to make sure their security officers will be ready to work in school environments.
We do active shooter training. Every officer will have to complete that. We do a liability and legal aspects. Now that includes general and also the state of South Carolina. All our mandated SLED training, we meet every requirement by the state of South Carolina.
When it comes to firearms qualifications, SLED requires a score of 80 for a trainee to pass, but U.S. Security Associates requires a score of 90. Despite all of that, though, some say the training for security officers is still not enough. Director of the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy, Jackie Swindler, says it takes more to be prepared to handle any situation that could happen in a school setting.
An armed security person would be a person who's there to respond to some confrontation. That's what their task. It's a sort of a single task, an important task, but a single task. Where an SRO is more involved. They are there for security, but they're also there to handle situations. They're trained to know how to investigate, how to talk, how to diffuse, can work simple crimes, could probably get property back or handle things such as that. So it's a whole lot more than just being an armed security person.
In comparison, a school resource officer undergoes hundreds of hours of training just in basic law enforcement. 488.25 hours over the course of 12 weeks. Beatty argues, though, not everything law enforcement officers learn during their time at the academy is needed to work in schools.
I mean, I was taught to investigate accidents. That would have nothing to do with working in a K-12 environment. And I think it's also important to point out that we're hiring these people, these school security officers, for a very finite reason to serve in these schools. We're not hiring a certified police officer. We're not hiring a police department. I mean, their primary duty there is to protect that campus and its occupants.
But Swindler disagrees.
Why would that not be a benefit to have someone who knows how to handle all types of situations? Because the school is just a little mini city. I mean, it has everything going on. You have everything from arguments to thefts to assaults. So why would you not have that police officer trained to handle all types of situations and know how to handle it immediately and thoroughly?
Law enforcement officers in South Carolina take courses on gangs, harassment and stalking, child abuse, mental illness, sexual assault, and domestic violence. Just just to name a few of the topics. And Swindler says to learn about these things makes officers in our state well-rounded and able to respond in any kind of situation.
If you just simply put someone there and they are limited training and they have limited duty and limited ability and equipment and training, then you got limited results.
On top of the basic skills law enforcement officers learn at the academy, many school resource officers in the state also go through another 75.5 hours of academy training. It's focused solely on school-related issues. Those courses include education on drug abuse, working with students with disabilities, working with LGBT students, and social media challenges.
They have a lot of tasks to do in the school. They're not simply there for security purposes, which is important, but they're there also to help holistic approach for the students to make sure that their well-being is safe and secure. So it's a great comprehensive program, and it's a great benefit to have that trained individual in the school.
And Swindler says that benefit extends to the community and the local police department or sheriff's office as well.
So the school resource officer can tell the detective division or the uniform division that I'm hearing that there's an event, and then likewise the officers in the street can tell the school resource officer, I'm hearing that there's something brewing that's fixing to happen, or there's a trend, or that we're understanding that this drug is popular, or this game is popular that's very dangerous, and that happens with kids, or that there's a crime that's happening, and they're able to share that information. So that network is very important.
Horry County Police have been providing SROs for area schools since 1998. But U.S. Security Associates also has a history with Horry County Schools. They've been working together for at least 10 years, supplying unarmed security until this school year.
Caitlin, thank you. Well, new at 11, South Carolina.